Okay, so I've got the pins on this one. And what I do once they're perfectly on there, you know, overlapping enough, there's no gap in the edge at all. I take one, I hit Shift, and I select the other one. And I'm going to copy these both together. And I want to see if I can keep track of both together. I'm just going to pull this version off to the side because I already did this a second ago. So over here I have two of these things that I already pulled over here. So here's one, here's the other one. And you may need to move them separately from each other just to kind of move those hole shapes out into the ring. Just make sure you change these into holes. You don't need to make them bigger necessarily. And then once you have those holes in there in a place where they're even with each other, I drag a box over just these three shapes and I group it. And I should have a nice looking cutout on both sides. And I think that'll work great. Next, I don't want to mess with this anymore. I'm happy with it, so I'm going to group that also. And let's change the color just for fun. Next, we are going to cut this one out of here. So let's start by putting the actual pins on. And it helps to make all the pins exactly the same size. Well, let's see if I can center that perfectly. I should have moved them down together. I'm going to snap that. I'm going to change the grid back down so I can get it closer to centered. I think that's good. That looks solid to me. And then this one will go right here. And I'm just going to zoom in and try to make sure I have that perfectly centered where this line in the middle will line up to that point. And that looks, oh, except I think I still have a slight gap on the side, so I have to back it up a little more. That works. And how did this side look? Oops. This side, I think was very, yeah, there's no, we're good there. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I need two more copies of the pins, actually. 1 and 2. I hold the Shift key, copy and paste, and move those. I'm going to change the snap grid back up and then move those over here. That's fine. This I am going to group and go ahead and change again the color. And now we need to cut the holes out of here. But instead of cutting them out right behind the other pins, we could cut them out at a 90-degree angle or a different angle. Let's make this layer 90 degrees. So I'm just going to grab both of these together, 90 degrees, and move it to the center, zoom in, try to get it nicely centered. I like that, except I just want to move these to the outside a little bit. Oh, I actually, before I ungroup, well, before I select them separately, I should change them to holes. There we go. And so we just want it to be completely cutting the hole out. That's good. So now it's 3 shapes that I'm selecting and grouping. That's very good. And I've now cut the holes out. And the last thing is to do the third piece and then put it all together.